they're getting a few spots of rain off the top.
Larry
might be just too busy to
and
turn
now
it
Gibbs,
off.
moving right over here, he has had a problem. I suspect there could be a possibility he's got some sort of water leaking from under the bonnet and it's coming up on the screen. I can't imagine why he'd have his wipers going on no one else's. But the other 4 cars have filed through now, including the Crompton Anders Olsen car. Anders in the car, starting the car today. So the Gibbs GTR seemingly in trouble. Keep an eye on that.
Mark Scaife continues to lead the great race. I'll let him get through the next little section here down to Mazda Forest Elbow. Left-hander coming up. The exit to there. Now Subaru straight. 15 grand in the hand this morning after yesterday's efforts, and you're looking good, Dick Johnson.
Yep, how you doing?
Good, son. How's it feel? Great?
Yeah, it's pretty good, Mike. We're just sort of cruising on about the pace we want to go. I would have liked to have tried to put a bit more pressure on the Nissan, but that's one of them things. Obviously, I might give John Keefe or John Large a ring shortly and see if they want to put another 100 kilos on him at the next stop.
Don't do that to them, for goodness sake. The car feels right. You've got to wait to a good start.
Yeah, the car feels fine. You know, it's at this point it's early days, though, Mike. You know that.
It certainly is. I'll let you get back to it. Thanks very much. We'll come back and talk later.
Thanks, pal.
Thanks, mate. Here comes the GAO Nissan GTR. Just to fill you in, the officials told the crew a while ago they weren't allowed to keep throwing water all over the fence or the wall.
Unfortunately, Mark got caught behind a detonating engine which blew oil all over the front of his car, and they're also doing a front tyre change as well. Hydraulic guns hammering away on the wheel nuts. They've been in there for just on 20 seconds.
They're trying to do it again.
But it is just impossible trying to drive when you're looking through a huge oil slick which is getting progressively more and more smeared all over the screen. Gibbs goes out, 30 seconds. This is the great dice. These two very evenly matched. Obviously Klaus has a speed advantage on the straights with the grunt of the turbo Ford, 550 horsepower, as opposed to the probably just over 500 for the 7,500 RPM restricted V8. But Wynn is making up his time through the corners. Sensational handling down that side of the mountain, certainly showing the disadvantage of the Ford Sierra in this tight, twisty parts of the circuit.
Great shots there on our Dunlop race cab. It goes beneath the GAO bridge and works its way down Subaru Straight.
And Percy hard at work in the office of car 16.
Absolutely flat. And look at his approach shot here. Down on the inside. Moment of truth now for Klaus Needsvits. And through he goes.
Third place. Holden moves into the top 3 of the Tooheys 1000.
Here's the man leading them all, the merry dance in the number 1 Winfield Nissan, Mark Scaife. In fact, the Winfield crew now got both their cars in the top 5. Anders Olofsson at the wheel of the number 2 car in 5th position. 45 seconds astern of his teammate, but making up miles of ground. John Brady's with team leader Fred Gibson.
Yeah, thanks, Gary. Fred, 18 laps in about 18 seconds. It's not a bad run.
No, it's not going too bad, John. The whole thing is exactly what we thought would happen. The pace dropped off very quickly, and we're all doing 17s and 18s now. It looks like raining as well, so I think a lot's going to happen as the day goes on.
Freddie's just so confident about this car. Been totally rebuilt from front to back, both car 1 and 2. He's over-engineered the car, he was telling us yesterday. Everything else, suspension components, everything through the car has gone one size up. So he's over-engineered the car, allowing for the weight. And all these guys at the Nissan team are very confident this car will just rocket around here for 6.5 hours, and I believe so as well.
The word we've had is that there will be heavy rain at the circuit in 1 hour or less, and there's some action in the pits. The boys are getting out the wet weather tyres.
Down to you, John.
Yes, thanks very much, Dougie. It's getting a little cold down here, and already you've got the tyres getting set up. Over on the end there, you have the first set of intermediate tyres, which they would go to. They've got 2 grades of intermediates. The second one here, a slightly thicker tread, some tread that is more recognisable to the ones we'd use on our cars on the outside, and of course straightened on the inside. These again are a softer compound, and then you go to the full-on wet weather tyre, which looks basically like a very chunky road tyre. They are getting them all ready at the moment. Talk is heavy rain within the hour, and the interesting thing in all of this is while these pits get all their tyres ready, the Nissans are really taking their time over it, because they can stay out without going to the intermediates for a lot longer than anybody else. And if it happens to go wet and go dry, they won't even have to stop, and that will just make this a cakewalk for them if the cars stay in one piece.
You're right, and if you come out of the garage, John, it's raining.
It's raining, all right.
Carports of the rich and famous.
It has started to, well, it's on the way to pouring here on Pitt Straight.
And it's going to be very, very tricky out there as the rain comes in. we'll see what that throws up in the next hour or so of Australia's great race. Klaus Niedzwitz just getting it a little sideways coming out of the corner, and I think he might be one of the first to head to the pits. He's going to take the punt.
It's getting slippery out there.
The B&H BMW was going to do the same, but that'll give you an indication of how slippery it is.
Klaus.
So that's happening on the way into the pits. We'll keep an eye on what's happening around the racetrack.
You don't want that happening to you on top of the mountain. Klaus comes into the Moffat pit. Got the clocks going on him. A quick stop. Get the wets on. And they're also doing some refueling there as well, making it a mandatory stop. Weren't scheduled to come into the pits a bit later than this. Lap 32 was the first scheduled stop. And look at this. This is really raining now. Mount Panorama, the track's starting to get a sheen on it. They'll be able to survive out there on slicks for a few laps, but this is going to start getting very greasy. Ooh.
That's Anders Olofsson just coming up on the inside of Andrew Harris.
Well, I don't know if you believe in fate, but it's falling into Freddie Gibson's lap.
Yeah, that Klaus Niedzwitz pit stop is 10 laps earlier than was scheduled. If they go in 10 laps early, of course, it means a number of the lead cars coming in to do this sort of stop because of the rain will have to stop again. They'll have to schedule an extra stop.
There's been plenty of drama in the pits. Car 25, Tony Longhurst, went back in again. He's rejoined in 13th position, so all that hard work that Johnny Cicotto's done has been undone. So he heads it back out on the track, and look at the amount of water on the screen of the HRT Commodore. Win Percy driving very gingerly as they come into Caltech's chase. I'm sure Win will be on his way to the pits as well. There's going to be some sensational pit activity in here over the next 2 or 3 laps.
David Parsons in and out, and here's Dick Johnson coming in now to put on to wets. John Bauer stands there.
He's out of the car.
Dick's climbing out, and John Bauer, we take our friend the Holidays pit report.
Moffat Sierra, meanwhile, has been in the pits for 2 minutes, 20 seconds. They've dropped a lap.
The Peter Jackson Sierra entry, the 35 car with Wayne Park at the wheel, has been in and put wets on and rejoined the race. Car 35 has rejoined the race in 14th position.
So Win Percy stays out there on the slicks, as too does the car 1.
Great day at the office. Sierra, Turbo Sierra at Mount Panorama trying to catch up ground.
Meanwhile, car 20, the second of the B&H BMW, has come into pit lane as Win Percy cuts his way through the spray. This is very, very slippery out there. Car 55, Andrew Madecki car, rejoins in 12th position, out on wets. So they're coming into the pits, one after the other.
Graham Moore heads into the pits, and I think you'll find that Win Percy will be pit-bound now.
Percy follows him. I think that may be Kevin Waldock behind them. And the 2 Nissans remain out on the track on slick tyres.
And it looks like, as you said, Graham Moore coming in. Wayne Gardner, I can see, is getting ready. I think he's going to take over that car.
Oh, in the wet.
Now, you talk about Bathurst rookies. Wayne Gardner's probably got the toughest job he's ever had in a car he's not completely happy with. HRT swings into pit lane. Car 16, Win Percy getting out. Alan Bryce getting ready to get in. Meanwhile, Graham Moore has brought the Strathfield Car Radio's Commodore in. And yes, Wayne Gardner is getting in. So Wayne's going to have a crash course.
Wrong word.
Maybe the wrong choice of words there.
Most unfortunate.
Richard Hayes in the pits there covering that for us. Richard? Probably trying to get